Hi everyone, this is Karak with ACG, and today I'm bringing you another review for another game for another system. Today's is Blues and Bullets Episode 2. Blues and Bullets tells a tale of an alternate universe cafe-owning Elliot Ness, voiced by the same voice actor who handles Garrett from the Witcher series. Ness gets a call from his old friend slash enemy Al Capone, who has a family member go missing in some kind of strange sex cult kidnapping. And before you know it, Ness is neck deep in his partner's wife, human sacrifice, slavery, sex workers, and other dark shit. Basically, it's like Life is Strange, but black and white, and, everything is screwed right away. Episode 2 picks up somewhat after Episode 1 left off. Let's see if Elliot can return some color into this black and white world. As always, if you like the review, maybe subscribe. So here's the review for Blues and Bullets, WWE sidekicks, elder god fortune tellers, and the audacity of Elliot Ness and Al Capone standing side by side, blasting the shit out of batter guys. As always, graphics are up first. It's a unique idea, I personally think, to go black and white for most of this title with a little bit of red splashed in, just like they did with Episode 1. A world like this, which is all about the nuances of human interaction and frankly some serious heinous shit, it's a cool dichotomy and an interesting artistic style. Sadly, this title seems to have more frame rate issues than Episode 1, and locking it at 30 or 60 frames per second on the PC negated the large variable bumps that were showing up in the frame rate, regardless of the resolution. The characters continue to be interestingly designed, as do the locations, but once again we do have problems with low resolution shadow flicker and the fact that some people are going to look at this and then turn away instantly in disgust just by the color choice. Personally, I have to say that I like it, but it can be a little rough. Sound, music, and voice.
Everyone's so excited about the new waterfront. It'll attract the tourists, it'll bring new life to Santa Esperanza.
So, everything's gonna work out fine, huh?
If someone hadn't thrown someone off the side of a Zeppelin.
Well, our fine gets crazy, no?
And in this trilogy of awesome, sound is always up first. Whether you're investigating the innards of World War II submarines or escaping the burning remains of a crime lord's floating hacienda, in the end, the sound is pretty good. It's not amazing, but guns are fairly accurate and sampled well, while the locations have a great deal of atmospheric additional layers that help cement the presentation, including the timeless echo of a decrepit church, where its walls are falling down around it, but you can hear the bird song from outside getting through. Pretty good, actually, when all things are taken into consideration. Music. Most of this is period correct, at least in theme to the time frame for Elliot Ness and his band of merry murderers. It's good with the jazz and blues accompaniments that you expect, as well as a great deal of woodwind work that is in this title that I don't remember being as present in the first episode. It's good, but if you're not into this kind of thing, you're going to find very little concessions here to modern music. And of course that brings us to voice. For many this is going to be hit and miss, as Ness's somewhat emotionless portrayal can feel unconnected to what he's seen. That helps though in moments of quiet or in contemplation of a relationship gone bad, or better yet, one poignant moment when a friendship needs to be summed up in one sentence before it's all over. Good stuff with most NPCs voiced well, especially this heinous piece of crap you end up meeting in Episode 2. A character so nasty you'd love to hold his head underwater, just for a little bit, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes tops. Or the absolutely crass, insanely humorous fisherman at the wharf. I'm not sure what was actually going on there, but trying to talk to a lover while an old man yells and screams about devils and sentient fish is a moment in gaming that I'm not gonna forget. And boom, we're at gameplay. As Episode 2 opens, some time has passed since the end of Episode 1. Sadly, just how much is a bit up in the air, as Episode 2 plays loose and fast with the continual, non-linear cuts of gameplay, jumping around the timeline with reckless abandon. In fact, it was downright hard to track exactly when situations were occurring, and the use of a cutscene break and reminder would have done tremendously well here. Ness continues to explore, though, the dark underworld of kidnapping and adult rituals as you try to track down the target. The gameplay is the same as you explore the clues that will get you close to the kidnappers and begin to uncover the truly vile shit people can and will do to one another. As you uncover clues, Ness has questions about the case he needs to answer, and you have to fill in the blanks on your memory board that you've found and try to come up with the answers. Let's be frank here. Some of this is some dark territory, so you need to be prepared for what's covered. Pedophilia, mad dog battles, the true reason chainsaws were invented, and what I have now termed as the scariest submarine ever to troll the waters. It's an interesting mix. Now, while still encapsulated in the typical walk around and look at things kind of gameplay, there are a few puzzles and more just interactive moments within the game world as well that play out. There are also the unique shooting moments where Ness goes all Gears of War for a second. It's enjoyable and it breaks the gameplay, but it is is not tight, nor is it really aimed at being so do not expect really good gameplay there. It's just a fun little break. The best part of Episode 1 and continuing with Episode 2 is the play that Ness isn't all that kind of a good guy. This isn't the typical internet bullshit of tearing someone down by proving they took a dump in someone's bushes when they were a kid to score political points. This is the decision to present a character in a narrative that's more human and in the end far more courageous and nuanced than typical fiction would present. Though, of course, your choices can change that, and it's nice to have the chance to play a character from history a bit more gray than the black and white presentation would even hint at. Fun factor. To be brutally honest, I enjoyed Episode 1 more so than Episode 2, and for one reason, it's the jumping around in Episode 2. It's just straight up odd and without any kind of warning or date and timestamps. It can feel like a non-linear mess, which hurts it in the playability department. That being said, the story continues to be highly interesting, and the inclusion of a character that's half Undertaker, half Jigsaw from the Saw movies reminds you and reminds everyone that this is an alternate universe where almost anything is possible. So as you know, I rate games on a buy, wait for sale, rent, or never touched again rating scale. Since this is episodic, I'm basically just going to go with a buy or wait for sale, since at this time it just adds to the current content you would get anyway. This continues to be a buy, regardless of some of the missteps of the secondary episode, because it is not as good as number 1. The titles, though, are incredibly interesting. The artistic presentation seems more skillfully employed here than it was in Episode 1, and the world is something I personally find highly engaging and just unique within the time frame of all these other games in the genre. I do feel like a piece of the goodwill that I had towards the original was lost a bit here with the problems, but in the end, this is still an episodic piece of content that continues to defy my expectations. So as always, if you like the video, hit thumbs up. If you dislike the video, hit thumbs down, and peace out.
It's just that anyone who gets close to you winds up dead. You should try to save her, right?